This is what you people need to understand. You've got the institutions captured, the media fomenting, and you've got useful idiots continue to push this. And who do you have in our country now, over 180,000 strong, who are more than willing to use political violence? You've got a whole lot of Islamic terrorists who are more than willing to jump on the bandwagon and be the head of the spear. Because that's what they know, that's what they come from, and they've got a whole institution set up for them to stand on top of and begin attacking this nation.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna
die! Welcome to the Badger Den. We've got a few things to break down. It is not going to be the Civil War you want it to be. And guess what? He's not just a tranny, he's a furry. That's right, he likes them real weird. As much as the left is trying to scream that this is a MAGA groiper going after Charlie Kirk, we all know it's the truth. And it's just funny to watch more evidence coming out that the assassin was indeed a left-wing nut job. Let's get into it. So with that, we're going to go over the latest details of Charlie Kirk's killer. We're not going to dwell too much on that because I don't want to dwell on him too much. Instead, we should be looking at Charlie's legacy. Also, a few things, interesting things have come out while this has happened that have been going on behind the scenes. And the just question is why? Why? It kind of plays into some conspiracies that I will keep an open mind to until they're proven otherwise. With that, the final piece, breaking into boiling the frog is you and me, and where we're going. Because this is going to get worse. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. This is going to get worse. This is the beginning. More people are seeing that this killer did not get caught. Maybe he was going to get caught 6 hours later, 12 hours later, 2 days later. The point is, he turned himself in. That is going to embolden more people to think, oh, I can get away with this. He got that far. He didn't get caught. He turned himself in. I guarantee you this is just the beginning, and it will get worse. It will get much worse because of the foundation institutional racism and hate toward whites and Christians and conservatives in this country. It will be worse. This is just the beginning. The fuse may be lit on the right, but the tracks, road, and heavy artillery has already been laid out for the left. There is more death and violence on the way for the right. And I hate to see it, and I've been calling for it, and let me lay it down for you. All right, so I'm just saying, if you think you might be of a different sex and persuasion than you really are, you probably have something unstable going on in that noodle of yours. Per Axios, of course, known to be a left-wing funhouse, suspected of killing Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson believed Kirk's views on gender identity were hateful to people like Robinson's transgender roommate. 6 versus K. What they're not saying is that neighbors have come out to confirm that the roommate and Robinson were indeed kissing and fondling each other in public. This dude was a flamer, and he was trying to pretend he wasn't by dating a tranny. I'm just saying, that's what it is. That's what it is. And here he is, unmasking Luna. How I found the evidence confirming that the Charlie Kirk assassin suspect was indeed his lover in trans, anti-Christian, and on hormones. Do we really need to go down this rabbit hole? Andy No, fantastic work, as usual. I can report, per Andy No, and suspected romantic partner of the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk, do we have to say accused at this point, is confirmed as trans. He was initially identified by the Daily Mail as 22-year-old Lance Twiggs. Really? Really, his name is Twiggs? Twiggs' social media history remains online, and I've reviewed it to confirm his transgender identity. Not only that, the dude was also into furries. There's numerous pictures of him dressing up in, like, animal costumes and whatnot. So, Twiggs is a freak. I'm not even going to read this because there's no point to it. There's multiple counts basically stating that this dude is an absolute leftoid. Not only that, let's not forget the bullets had trans anti-fascist scribblings on it saying Bella Ciao, which is a wonderful anti-fascist nutbag mantra they like to harp on about, as well as noting people who are gay but still like trannies, which happens to be our killer's MO right there. The interesting thing in the conspiracy piece is several tranny accounts, leftist accounts, posted about the attack before it happened. 6 in now. Wonderful people who are doing the investigation online, finding people out, showcasing that they somehow knew or had insight that something was about to happen to Charlie Kirk. Not only that, the FBI are running down all the Discord members right now as part of the investigation. So all the members on the Discord sites that the shooter and Twigs were a part of are now in question. More than likely, that's how these people find out that something was going down. I hope all these people get brought up on charges. Now, let's get into the tinfoil hat piece. Was it that a leftist just had one too many screws loose? And this is possible, and this is the current modus operandi right now. This is what we want to stay. We don't want to go down rabbit holes until we have more evidence. We want to keep our minds open. So number one, the structure of how we are in America right now, the structure we are with students and how they refuse to see the bigger issue on this. If you look at college students right now and you look in classrooms and they're talking about this, they're talking about gun control. They're talking about, hey, we need more gun control, and that would have stopped Kirk from getting shot. No, it wouldn't. And the fact that you think that is part of the problem. You still have leftoids in college classrooms right now saying that Charlie Kirk brought this on himself. Again, they're missing the bigger picture. The big picture is, guess what? People like me, people who are willing to stand up and say this is wrong, this is evil, and this is why it's evil, those leftoids think it's okay to kill us, to silence us, because they have been told for a decade now, at least a decade, that speech is violence. Me saying that XX and XY and you can't go between the two is violence. Yes, it is a mental disorder for you to think that you're a woman when you're really a man. That is a mental disorder. It's been that way in the DSM-5 for how long? Until recently? The fact that I just said that is considered and equated to violence, and now somebody's allowed to try to attack me and my family because I said that. That's the bigger issue. That's the issue college kids can't even wrap their head around because they're children. They've been so indoctrinated by the education system, they cannot think outside of their little bubble. Because the moment they do, it explodes everything they've been taught around them, and they can't handle it. The biggest question that you want to look at on this conspiracy theories is who benefits. Who benefits from this? Who benefits from Charlie Kirk's death? The left is now waking up to realize they don't. That's why you've got the media going absolutely schizoid nutso about trying to claim that it was some groyper, that it was some MAGA occultist, because they have now realized that, oh man, we have woken up the beast. Indeed you have. And you do not understand how dangerous this beast is, how Kirk was a moderate. That's the thing about these leftoids. They're so stuck in their little bubble. They thought Kirk was a right-wing extremist. The Overton window has shifted so far left, they saw Kirk as a right-wing extremist. Let me say that one more time. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had Obama, the deporter-in-chief, saying that, yes, we need to get people out. You had Clinton, both Clintons, saying that we need a wall and we need to deport people, that we need to protect the American working class. You say that nowadays, and you're a right-wing extremist. The Overton window has shifted so far to the left that anyone who was once a moderate is now right-wing. Charlie Kirk was not a right-wing extremist. Trump is not a conservative. By all accounts and his voting record, he is a moderate. He's a centrist. You would even say 30 years ago, he was a Democrat. You people don't understand. The way that politics have shifted so far is that anyone who is not left of center is considered a right-wing extremist. That's what the left doesn't understand. They are so far entrapped in their bubble that people outside of their nomenclature, outside of their little bubble, are considered extremists. Charlie Kirk was right of center. He was not a right-wing nut job. He was not a right-wing extremist. You guys have just shown that you cannot even tolerate someone who is a pacifist, who wants discourse, and you shut him up with a bullet. That's what you don't understand. You shot someone who was not an extremist. You shot a good man who was trying to reach out to you, who was trying to mend the bridges between the right and left, and you shot him down. Who benefits from that? Somebody who would want discord in America, somebody who did not want conservatives in Gen Z. Who could that be? I don't know. But it does lend themselves to being the deep state potentially. That's the only thing I can figure. Charlie Kirk was changing so many minds at the young youth level that, again, as you age and you get more wisdom, you realize you should be a conservative. That's the only route that makes sense. So you've got the deep state. Not only that, you've got two separate reports now that Charlie Kirk was being pressured by billionaire donors, pressuring Kirk to no longer talk to Tucker Carlson and to back off of Israel. So deep state, left-wing extremists that was indoctrinated into ideology, foreign power, I don't know. I just want to keep an open mind and let you know what we're wondering and what we're working against. Because Charlie Kirk, he was creating a movement to change the minds of the youth. Change the entire voting structure for the next 40 years to where the Democrats would never see an iota of power again at the national level. That is enough to scare the deep state. They've killed presidents before. They attempted to kill the current president at least twice that we know about. Don't think it is beneath them to kill Charlie Kirk. That's all I'm wanting to say, is that at least whoever is running the shadow government, it is not outside the realm of the possibility that they could have killed Charlie Kirk. Now, let's get in a little bit more tinfoil hat, guys. We have 217 signatures on the discharge petition to force a vote on the legislation to release the Epstein files. We need 218. The Republicans have been blocking this. Why are the Republicans blocking the release of the Epstein files? Why are the Democrats now all of a sudden coming out saying they want it released? Why? What is going on here? It is absolutely nuts and schizoid. It is this flip-flop left and right that nobody knows what's really going on with it. I want the Epstein documents out. You want the Epstein documents out. Throw them out there. Let the pieces drop where they may, and we'll sort it out. Those that need to go in the wood chipper, I'll gladly lend a hand. Those that have been wrongfully accused, let's settle it out. Let's validate it. Determine if you need to go in the wood chipper or not. Personally, wood chipper, it sounds like it. Finally, guys, how did we get here? No matter what, whether it was a deep state cover-up, some other foreign entity, the fact is we now have a transgender lover of a patsy. Whether he did it all on his own accord, whether he had training, because remember, the Butler shooter, he was trained or had been caught with GPS at an FBI Secret Service gun range training. Where in the world is this guy's GPS data going to lead us to? I doubt we'll ever see it, because I got a feeling it's going to show some pretty awful things about our own government or some government. Regardless, the fact remains he was radicalized. What radicalized him? There is institutions and media that have built upon a series of foundation that we now have a whole host of people, millions of people, who have been radicalized and desensitized to violence, political violence, about those that have been accused of being vocal. Don't believe me? Have you been that short of memory? Allow me to wake you up.
Tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist
dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Do you get what I'm putting down? Do you get it? How long do you have to call the other side fascist Nazis before somebody starts believing you? Again, Nick Freitas said it very eloquently in a prior video I did. I read out his whole statement. He's done. And he is a politician, and he says he's done. He's not reaching over to the other side anymore. That's what you people don't get. They have built up an entire system of indoctrinating kids, indoctrinating a whole chunk of a generation to say that the right, anyone that does not fall in their bubble, is a fascist Nazi. Do you feel safe walking around thinking that a quarter of people think that it's okay if somebody pulls out a gun and shoots you? Because, again, you're a fascist Nazi. Because you don't believe men can change into women. You don't think it's okay for a man to put on a skirt and go in a little girl's bathroom. Remember, guys, this starts with the youth. The media is just trying to incite it and continue to sprinkle it on. This has been going on for decades. About indoctrinating our youth. 90% of our education system is captured by the left. 90%. Rainbow flags in schools, having little children be taught about trannies, story hours for kids by like, the list goes on. This headline right here might as well have been in America. Teacher forced a 10-year-old to watch the Kirk murder video over and over again as he ranted and raved about fascism. This was in Canada, but it might as well have been here. I guarantee you it's happened somewhere here. Another Pennsylvania teacher, Craig Copas, art teacher at an elementary school, shared a video about Kirk's assassination. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Elementary. So, man, the oldest these kids were 10-year-olds, just like the prior one in Canada. And they're saying that revenge is a best served cold to 10-year-olds at the oldest. That's the oldest they could possibly be. They could be as young as 5. And these are the people talking to your kids all day, telling them about how anybody who doesn't believe that climate change is a hoax, that climate change is real and it is happening now, is a fascist. That anybody that doesn't believe in open borders is a fascist. Think about that. A child being taught that for a decade, while they're in the school system, being taught this stuff, and you don't think that can radicalize somebody? Another one, kindergarten teacher in public schools in Kentucky, of all places. District is aware she is still teaching while under investigation. His own words created this, no one else. Not the shooter, not the gun, his own words. He brought it upon himself because he was trying to reach out to you shitbags. Excuse me, sorry. But look, this is the face of evil right here. She thinks he deserved it because he was trying to reach across the aisle and say, hey, let's talk. Again, he was shot for talking. Oh, Starbuck. Mary Roth, professor at California State University. Charlie was killed by the words he kept speaking, and his murder meant the ancestors have spoken. Well, yeah, your ancestors, they came across a boat, apparently. Tell you what, you can go back to them. Makes sense to me. Fresno State professor Barry Brennan caught saying it was too bad he's not dead when a student says that he's been shot. People like her are the reason violence is justified and celebrated on the left instead of condemned and shunned. Ugh. Major. So again, in the military, showing you that the institutions, guys, from kindergarten all the way up to college has been institutionalized. Don't forget FEMA. If you had a Trump flag out in your yard, you did not get funding. You did not get help here in North Carolina and Tennessee, South Carolina from the floods. You didn't get help. Every single institution, government institution that has government funds has been captured by these leftoids who believe that if you were outside of their leftist bubble, you deserve death. You deserve no help. Major Sidney Jacques, active duty HR officer for the U.S. Army, calls the grief for Charlie's murder ironic and theatrical as she mocks his death. Sorry for his family, but I'm not sorry for the following words. You're not going to get a post from me that's all emotional or anti-violence or anti-hate. So she's not against hate. She's not against violence, guys. Not against hate or violence. He ain't Jesus. Stop turning him into one. He's not a martyr. Stop turning him into one. He's a victim from an act, and he had victims of his own. Again, speech is violence as well. That will last for generations. I hope his teachings do last for generations. He taught hope. He taught discord. Because I guarantee you guys, if his teachings do not get out, if his words do not reverberate, they have no idea what's coming. If those are your views, I'm totally okay with you being murdered. Because the world is a better place without you at that point. Sounds like a wonderful guy. Wouldn't you want this person who's an intensive care nurse watching over you? What happens if you have an American flag t-shirt on and you go and you see him and he's your nurse? Do you think he might not give you the best care? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's right? New Jersey nurse Lexi Coolez is suing Inglewood Health after suspended her for calling out a doctor who was celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. This doctor came out in front of a patient and other nurses and said he deserved it. I'm glad, and he deserved it. This wonderful nurse said that is uncalled for. He is a human being, and you're a doctor, and you're celebrating the death of a human. That is what she told him. He immediately did an about face, walked away, contacted administration, and had her fired. This man is a legit coward. Again, would you want him operating on your family, taking care of you? Tens of thousands are calling on the Ohio General Assembly to impeach Hamilton County Judge Ted Berry after he applauded Charlie Kirk's assassination, with residents no longer convinced he can preside or issue rulings impartially. This, of course, being on guess where? LinkedIn. Hundreds of them, thousands of them on LinkedIn, where people are openly celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. And these people are going to be presiding over your court cases. What happens when that judge finds out that you voted for Trump? Not only that, but this isn't just us, guys. This is worldwide. A minute of silence for George Floyd, but not for Charlie Kirk. That's right. They had a minute of silence for George Floyd, a fentanyl-abusing, horrible person who held a gun to a pregnant woman. Not just to the pregnant woman, but to the pregnant woman's womb. But he is celebrated, and they had a summer of fun just in the name of him burning down $2 billion worth of businesses. But for Charlie Kirk, the EU refused to have a moment of silence. Refused. Don't forget, in our own legislature in the United States, they refused to allow a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Speaker Johnson had to step up and demand a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Don't forget, let's not forget for Ariana, the district judge who ordered the psychiatric eval for Brown, the man who murdered Ariana, stabbed her brutally in the throat for no reason, is a Democrat, and his reasoning has been heavily redacted while he did so. He has remanded the murderer to 60 days in a very plush, very nice mental health assisted living type BS. So instead of being in prison, he is now in a private hospital for his mental health and care. This woman died sad and alone while other people looked on, looked away, refused to stand up and do anything, while this man stabbed her viciously for no other reason that she was white. She died because she was young, attractive, and white. That's it. Nobody stepped up to help her. Nobody came to her aid until finally somebody, after the killer walked away and she was obviously already passed out alone, did somebody come up to check on her. Nobody in the immediate vicinity did. So how did we get here, guys? How did we get here? We have, again, the institutions are captured, the education's captured, the media is fomenting it, and who's on top of the pyramid? The useful idiots. The useful idiots that are eating this up, breathing it, and fomenting and encouraging others to hash out with violence. And this is just boggles the mind. 1.5 million followers is making videos praising Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is just the beginning, guys. This is just the beginning. Again, Charlie Kirk's assassin was not caught. He turned himself in. Sure, Kash Patel were hot on their heels. I'm sure they were. Maybe they even knew who they were, and they were letting him go on a leash, knowing exactly where he was, trying to see who else was involved. That could be very well possible, but the fact is, the man got turned in by his own family. He didn't get grabbed, doors kicking in with a SWAT team, FBI going and hold guns to his head. No. It looks like from the public perspective is that he turned himself in. That's going to give these radicals the idea that they can get away with it. Wait until the orange one catches one. Again, it's not over. It's not over. This is just the beginning. The left has created a system, an entire institution to propagate violence on the right or anyone they perceive to be right. Because Charlie Kirk was not an extremist. This is just beautiful. And this, I want you to focus on this for a moment because we're going to come back to this. Lesbian woman says she's converting to Islam. Does anybody understand the irony in that? It's like, I want to be thrown off a building. Can somebody toss me off a building? Just wrap me in a hijab and toss me. Christianity is the most evil religion and is based on fear, unlike Islam, which is based on love. Yes, a very capricious God. The Quran talks about Allah. Muhammad likes to take it in the butt. Yep, I said it. He does. Guys, I don't know if you are doing anything out there. I encourage you to do something out there. If you know of someone that is attempting to incite violence, encourage what has been done to Charlie Kirk, reach out to their employer. This is not about cancel culture. This is about survival. Again, do you want that teacher teaching your child? Do you want that nurse operating on your mother? Is that who you want taking care of your family? This is about survival. They are more than willing to turn a blind eye to death and destruction. Is that the type of person you want giving you care? 40,000 people have supposedly been fired. There's an ongoing tally. I'm a part of it, and I am proud that are getting fired from their positions for celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, a true American hero who was a devout Christian, loving husband and father. This pretty much sums it up. Lefties canceling you for liking the wrong tweet, or you not wearing a mask, or you not taking the box. They're smiling. They're happy. Lefties getting canceled for cheering on murderers. Hey, that ain't fair. Yeah, because we're not the same. As always, you have to ask yourself, if you're still a Democrat, where's your soul? Where's your soul? Bill Maher is finally waking up to it. He is finally realizing he is on the wrong side of history, as you would say, on the left. Bill Maher delivers a brutal message to Democrats still calling Trump Hitler. Kirk is dead. Maher has finally had enough. First of all, a-holes, it's not Hitler, okay? An insult to everybody in the Holocaust to begin with. Second of all, calling somebody Hitler makes it a lot easier to justify things like assassination. Let's put an S-load of that away, shall we? Do you know why? Do you know why? Bill Maher is not a dumb man. As much as he is a leftoid S-bag himself, he's not a dumb man. He is a high priority on the left if things get ugly. And he is waking up to that fact that if people begin killing pundits, people began killing, people were just speaking out. Who do you think is going to be on the top of the list for the right if this all turns tits up? And Bill Maher sees that, and he realized, oh man, my side has been fomenting and accusing the other side of Nazism, fascism for years. And they're waking up. They are waking up, and they are angry. And maybe, just maybe, we might want to backtrack on that. Yeah, but it might be a little late. It might be a little late. Because guess what, guys? This is what's making the rounds right now. Get your very own assassination merchandise. Debate this. Debate this. They even have figurines already. Wonderfully 3D generated figurines of Charlie Kirk being horribly murdered in front of his family, in front of his little girl. And they're celebrating it. We are not the same. You guys revel in violence. You guys revel in victimhood. You guys revel in destruction, because one thing you cannot change, evil cannot create. It can only corrupt and destroy. Don't forget, guys, where's the summer of love? Where's our summer of love? England's fighting back. You have a huge rally in England. It's estimated between 1 to 3 million people. They also held rallies in the rally for Charlie Kirk, where they are fighting back against Muslim extremism invading England. People have finally begun to wake up and have enough. Maybe, just maybe, that fuse has been lit under the fire of the right to realize we do have power, we do have numbers, and we can stand up, and we can fight, because we actually know how. Because we didn't burn places down, guys. We didn't run around and do $2 billion worth of damages because you guys shot one of our leaders. No, we didn't. No, because we have morals, because we have logic, because we have a soul. We didn't do that. We had candlelight vigils all across America. We celebrated Charlie Kirk's life and lamented his death. And we will continue on his work, because what you guys failed to understand is Charlie Kirk was a moderate, and I almost jumped down to it, and you guys just have no idea what you've woken up. If you did not see the moving speech from Erica Kirk, I highly recommend you go seeing it. I cut out just a small snippet that is making the rounds, but it is well worth the watch. Seeing that woman's pain and frustration. Already, I just want to throw this out there as a point. Turning Point now has 18,000 new chapter requests. Now, of course, a lot of those requests are going to be overlapping, but regardless, that is double the number that they saw previously. They are about to double in size, guys. Double. You have no idea what you have woken up. No idea. From her speech, the evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They should all know this. If you thought my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you have just unleashed across the entire country. This movement will not die. I refuse to let that happen. Just the other day, I released a series of targets that the left is already ruminating over, that they're encouraging in their little leftoid chats. Joe Rogan, Musk, of course Trump. But number one, above all, they are now calling for the death of the wife of Charlie Kirk. It's not enough that you killed Charlie Kirk. They now, after this speech, want her dead. They want Erica Kirk dead. Again, they posted up horrible messages to her, laughed at her pain and suffering. These people are ghouls. They are demonic in nature. Commies have no soul. Commies aren't people, guys. One day, you guys will realize that. Commies are not people. And to put this into perspective, here's Christian nationalism, or some people would say extremism. It is not extremism. Here's all the Marxists out there. Charlie Kirk was your bulwark. He was your pillar trying to reach across. You don't see me trying to reach across. You don't see other people trying to reach across. Because unlike Charlie, we don't have the heart for it. You people are sick psychos. Charlie Kirk, he wanted to reach out. He wanted to build that bridge. I know better. I am not willing to stick my neck out, no pun intended, to get shot over you psychos. No, I know you have no souls, and I'm not going to negotiate with you. And you just tore down the single largest pillar protecting you from everything that's coming. It's not a call to violence, but stay strapped to get clapped, people. Keep your head on a swivel. Because what comes next, you got to understand. This is what I've been building up to. This is what you people need to understand. You've got the institutions captured, the media fomenting, and you've got useful idiots continue to push this. And who do you have in our country now, over 180,000 strong, who are more than willing to use political violence? You've got a whole lot of Islamic terrorists who are more than willing to jump on the bandwagon and be the head of the spear. Because that's what they know, that's what they come from, and they've got a whole institution set up for them to stand on top of and begin attacking this nation. You have no idea what's coming, and I've been calling this out for now years. Once the Biden administration yanked down the borders and said it's time to let everyone in, including the Terrys. The Terrys are in the United States. They've got a whole heap of people who are willing to celebrate them killing others, assassinating others, threatening others, bombing others, tearing down our institutions, who have begun to propagate and vilify us for decades now. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of, I don't want to say it, because it is not the war you think you people want. And I do mean you people as on my side. Because I know what we want. We want to stand up shoulder to shoulder and say, fine, bring it on. But we fight fair. They don't fight fair, guys. They're not going to fight fair. They're cowards. They're hypocrites. They're cowards, and they attack from the shadows. This is not the war you want. It's not the war that we need. It's going to be an ugly, underhanded mess that we do not have the moral integrity, fortitude to fight, because guess what? We have morals. And there's more blood on the streets that is coming from the left. They will attack us viciously. Please, please keep your eyes open. Keep your ears to the ground and pay attention, because this is just the beginning. And I am pleading for everyone to pay attention, because a huge chunk of this nation is going to push for more violence from the left. We are in the beginnings of true political violence in this country that we have not seen ever in the history of America.